Alright, so if you were able to import either the PSD file or the Procreate file, then you should have everything you need to get started here. Now, if you have an older iPad and you had to use one of the JPEGs, then the only thing that you have to do that's really different is on your main inks layer. I'm going to go ahead and rename these inks and pencils. But if you've imported the JPEG that has the white background built into the file, then you'll need to change the layer mode of your ink layer to multiply. Okay. Now, this file that I'm drawing in Procreate, since I drew it in Procreate, you don't necessarily have to do this step. Even normal is going to work because the only thing on this layer is the inks itself, the ink lines. But if you see white up here, if you've imported the JPEG and it includes those white pixels as well, then just click that little N button if you're using Procreate and change it to multiply. Everything else should pretty much be the same. Now, I'm not a fan of working on white very often, even if my final drawing is going to be in white. So I'm going to change my background color to like kind of a middle gray, just so I don't have to stare at a white background that looks like a light bulb for a couple hours. If you're working in another app, then you can just put a layer underneath the inks and fill it with whatever color you like. I would recommend kind of a neutral, middle of the road gray, which is kind of what I've selected here. So the first thing we're going to do is color the entire outline, because once we have the outline, the silhouette of the character done, that's going to save us a lot of time in making sure that we stay inside those lines for the rest of our colors. So I'm going to make a new layer, and this is under my inks layer, and I'll just call this outline. Now, as far as brushes for this, it doesn't really matter what kind of brush you use, but any brush that has a hard edge, okay? You don't want a real fuzzy edge on it. You want it to be a pretty hard transition without any fuzziness or pixelation or anything around it. And the color really doesn't matter that much for this, but I'm going to go ahead and pick a color that I think will end up being pretty close to her skin tone. Now, she is a goblin, and I want her skin to be kind of green. So I'm going to pick kind of a middle of the road green here, and let's see, it's a little too bright, a little bit darker. There we go, something like that. So I'm going to zoom up and just start right here at the top, and I'm going to start filling this in around this edge. And you know what, I'm going to pick a darker color that is a little bit further away from that gray so that I can see it better. There we go, much better. And I'm using the Apple Pencil on an iPad Pro, but you should be able to use just about any stylus for this. And I really just want to get all the way around the edge, and I want to make sure that underneath that all of these lines are connected, because the way Procreate works, we can color drop into the middle of this once we're done coloring. But this part is sort of like being in elementary school again. Just stay in the lines. So this is one way to do this. I'll show you guys another way too. Tell you what, I'll just go ahead. I'm going to close this whole side off here. So at least with Procreate, bucket tool works also in other apps. You can drag this down, let it go, and then just drag it left and right in order to make sure it fills the entire thing properly. That's one way to do it. You can also, if you wanted to use the lasso tool for this, that's another good option. So you could go in with the lasso and fill it this way, if that's more comfortable for you. And do it that way. But I'm in kind of a painty mood today, so I'm just going to paint this in. This is the brush pen, is actually the Photoshop, the Procreate name for this brush. But like I said, the brushes are overrated. I get more questions about brushes, and it's probably one of the least important aspects of color. I think a lot of people just assume there's some kind of magic in the in the brush, and I do a lot of work with a soft, round, like airbrush that's just like like the Photoshop default brush. But I like this particular brush because it'll get pretty thin or pretty thick pretty easily depending on what you want to do with it. This is the least exciting part of being a colorist, by the way. They call this flatting because we're putting in all the flat colors. But what this allows us to do later is to use these as selections, and it saves a lot of time. Sorry, there's nothing super exciting to talk about over all of this. This is sort of the grunt work of coloring. All right, I'm just doing a quick once over here to make sure that I don't have any stray pixels anywhere. Looks like we're good. And you can ignore the little special effect thing. We're going to do something different with that toward the end. But now I've got a silhouette for the character, and we don't have to worry about staying inside any of these lines ever again. Not in this course anyway. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I want to lock this layer because I don't want to accidentally make any adjustments to this layer right now. So, and depends on the app you're using, it'll be different, but in Procreate, if you slide the layer to the left with one finger, there's a lock button right there. You can lock and unlock it. Now this just means that even if I try to color on this, I'm going to get a warning that the layer is locked and I've got to change that. So that's good because I don't want to ever change this. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. Works the same way. Just swipe to the left in Procreate and click duplicate, or however that happens in the app that you might be using. And I just want to unlock that new one, and we're going to name this flats because these are going to be our flat colors, and we're just starting with that green for her skin, which is fine, so we can leave that just the way it is, and we'll do the rest of this. Now one more step I'm going to take here, again, just to save us some time, is to set this layer as a clipping mask. So if you just click on that flats layer after it's been highlighted and click on clipping mask, what this does, everything that we do on this layer is going to be contained to the outline layer. Okay, that little arrow you see that's pointing down, I'll bring this over here, right here, that marks it as a clipping mask, and it means that no matter what I do, it's going to stay contained within this outline. Okay, so you'll see that if I get a brush here and change the color and try to go outside the lines, it won't even let me. And this saves a tremendous amount of time whenever you're flatting and rendering and everything else we're going to be doing. All right, so I'm on my flats layer, I've got my clipping mask, and we're going to start with her hair. So I'm going to pick kind of a middle red here. And as a bit of advice for those of you that maybe haven't taken my other courses, you want to avoid all of this, okay? Especially with comics. All this stuff down here, when people think, oh, I want a dark red, and they go down here, this is not where you want to live in comics because a lot of this stuff just won't print. So, you know, a dark red to me would be like here. Basically, I avoid the bottom third of the color picker when I'm picking colors. Anyway, so kind of a middle red. What does that look like? It's a little harsh, too much saturation. There we go. We can always adjust these. The final colors don't really matter too much at this point, to be honest. We can always adjust that later. So same thing, I'm going to start outlining the hair. Now once I've got that bottom outline done, I can increase my brush size and fill the rest of this in really quick because of that clipping mask. All right, and while we're up here, we'll go ahead and do the eyes. Now I don't use white for eyes very often because usually it doesn't fit very well with the rest of the colors, so I tend to pick kind of a an off-white, kind of in whatever like this is kind of a bluish color. Doesn't really matter. And I don't know what color her eyes are going to be, but I'm going to make them orange for now. And I'll also make this version available, the flats version of the file too, just so you guys will have one less thing to do, unless you want to learn this part too. I would recommend it. Save yourself some time in the future. Alright, so I'm going to pick sort of for clothing, kind of a brown, maybe something about like that. A little bit more saturation. Yeah, so to get brown, you're pretty much going to orange and then finding the middle. And of course, you don't have to necessarily use the same colors I'm using or even close to it. If you prefer to do something completely different, that's fine too. But just understand that I'm going to be basing my lighting colors and shadow colors and all of that off of the colors that I'm currently making. So I would recommend maybe going through it with me, picking colors that are close to this the first time, and then maybe later on, if you want to try something different, then you can. But the highlight colors and all of that will be based on these, so it might help to go through this with me at least once. So for her shirt here, I'm picking kind of a beige color. Again, it's kind of in the orange family, but just up here at the top left. Right there. Sorry, I keep zooming out just to get an overall feel of what this looks like. Really haven't thought about what color I want to make these pants yet. I'm just going to pick a color for now, and then I'm going to change it a little bit later. So now that I've got it colored, I'll just use the selection tool, set to automatic, and then go to the adjustments and change that color to whatever I want it to be. I think that works. And the belt buckle, I'm going to do pretty much orange, but it's going to end up being gold when we're done. But we'll start with like a deep orange kind of a base here. And again, I'm just kind of touching this up, some of these areas where the green's coming through, just taking a good look everywhere. And I'll do this little necklace the same color as the belt buckle. Maybe these things too, a little ornamentation on the cape there. We're almost done with this stage here. And then kind of a grayish orange for this stuff here. Like these little wrappings. Alright, did we get everything? I think we did. Now I want to change her skin tone a little bit here, I think. So again, I'm just going to go to the selection tool. There we go. And then switch over to the adjustments once I've got the selection made. Hue, saturation, brightness. And that's kind of more what I was going for. A little bit, add a little bit of yellow, or moving toward yellow instead of blue. Although that bluish green looks good too. I want to lighten this up a good bit too. It's a little too dark. I think I want to change her eyes to blue or something else at least. Same thing. Adjustments, hue, saturation. Yeah, blue's better. A little bit less distracting. Oh, we have fingernails. They're a slightly different color. I'm just going to brighten this green up a little bit. Alright, so now we have it flatted. This is by far the most boring part of the course, so I'm glad you made it. But if you get your flats right the first time, though, it saves a lot of time later. So let's move on to the next lesson.